It takes special, unique individuals in a family to run a business together, and there need to be clear boundaries. So if you are finding yourself in a family-based business and that's all you guys talk about is the business, it's a really big red flag. You work hard in your business. On the Profit by Design podcast, we ask the big question. What has your business done for you lately? Hi, I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling. I'm the business psychologist, the author of the 4-Week Vacation and the How to Hire the Best series, as well as the founder of Tap the Potential, where we coach entrepreneurs like you to design sustainably profitable businesses that give you more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. Because after all, we believe work supports life, not the other way around. Weekly on the Profit by Design podcast, we bring you tips, tools, and strategies from our own experiences and from the experiences of our guests who are entrepreneurial thought leaders and real life entrepreneurs, all to support you in making intentionally profitable and sustainable business decisions to live the lifestyle you desire. Hey there. I'm coming to you today to talk about a question, and that is your business taking over your life? This is a really important question to check in with yourself periodically and ask. And quite honestly, maybe even better than asking yourself is to ask the people around you what they see and ask them, does the business seem to be taking over my life? Ask your spouse, your kids, your friends, and really listen to their answers and what they're telling you. It's so amazing to me how when we business owners are in the day-to-day of running the business and feeling like we're running around, we're doing one thing and putting out one fire after the other, we really have no awareness of how other people are perceiving us. We're just focused on what's right in front of us. And the people that we love the most, the people that we care about the most are watching us really struggle and suffer. And they also are initially, it's almost like they go through several phases. So the initial phase is, oh my gosh, I want to try to help. I want to see what I can do. And then you, the business owner, we typically will push them away and we'll say, you don't understand. You can't help. You can't possibly help me. And then the people that we love, we start to push them away. And then we say, I feel like no one understands me. I don't understand. They don't understand the stressors that I'm dealing with, the situation that I'm under. They can't possibly understand all the pressure. And then the people that we love start to notice that we're checked out, we're disengaged, we're not present in relationships. What we are not noticing when we are at that place in our mental health with the business is that they're struggling to connect with us. The people that we love are struggling to connect with us and they're giving up on that connection. And so this question, it's not a comfortable question to look at, is the business taking over your life? But I think it's a very important question to consider. So I want to acknowledge that as I've written the book, The 4-Week Vacation, and I have spoken with business owners over the years who have taken 4-week vacations and made that happen. I've also spoken with lots of family members of business owners and heard their perspective. And the family members are the first to notice two things. They're the first to notice when the business owner is checking out, and they're also the first to notice when the business owner starts showing up and being present again. And that's one of our greatest joys in our Better Business, Better Life program is hearing family members say, oh my gosh, my mom actually talks to me about other things besides the business now. Or, my kids are so happy that I'm showing up at their events and I'm watching the game instead of being on my phone. Those are the things that really matter. And so in today's episode, I want to give you some questions that will help you figure out if the business is taking over your life. And I want to give you some steps to reverse it if the business is taking over your life. So first, I'm going to just go through some signs for you to be aware of and to tune into and pay attention to recognize that these are signs that the business is taking over your life. And there are also, some of these are the initial symptoms of burnout. But even before you get to the point of burning out, if the business is taking over your life, you will get to a point of burnout at some point. So one of the first signs is the business all you think and talk about, right? Are you checking in with the people that you care about the most and asking them about their day and their lives and what's going on in their world? Or are you just talking to them about all of your troubles? And if this is a family business, and you and your spouse are only talking about the problems in the business day to day, and the rest of your conversation about your relationship and things that matter to you as a human being, if those things aren't being discussed, that's a real concern. And so many small businesses are family-based businesses where it's a husband and wife or parents and children running the business together. And the business can quickly take over and damage our closest relationships when we allow that to happen. And so it takes special, unique individuals in a family to run a business together, and there need to be clear boundaries. So if you are finding yourself in a family-based business and that's all you guys talk about is the business, it's a really big red flag. Another sign that the business is taking over your life is that you feel like no one understands you. They can't possibly understand all the pressure that you're under. Another sign is that your spouse and children are jealous of the business, right? Because the business takes all of your time and energy and you're not showing up for things that matter to them because you're working. That's another sign that the business is taking over your life. When your children tell you to put your cell phone down when you're talking to them, that's a sign the business is taking over your life. When you've stopped celebrating, and I just heard two business owners talking about this, and I think it's such a profound thing to pay attention to, that, during holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, if you're working and using that as time to catch up while the rest of the world is taking time off and celebrating, that's a sign that the business is taking over your life. If you're not taking weekends off, if you're just working because that's your only time to go in and get things done without being distracted, that's a sign that the business is taking over your life. If you're turning down events, declining invitations from friends and family to go have fun because you have to work, the business is taking over your life. If you're skipping meals, if you're not exercising, if you feel discouraged about the future, that's a sign the business is taking over your life. If you find yourself being more and more cynical towards people, that's a sign that the business is taking over your life. If you're staying up late, getting up early to work, those are signs the business is taking over your life. If you're crying at your desk, if you are yelling in your truck because you think no one can hear you and you can finally just let it all out, or if you're yelling and crying in your truck, those are signs that the business is taking over your life. If your family's taking vacation without you and you're staying home, or you're bringing your work with you while they're off having fun, those are all signs that business is taking over your life. And so I hope as you're listening to this, number one, I hope it's creating awareness for you. Like, this is serious. This is not something you want to let go on because it will lead to burnout for you. It will damage your relationships long term, and it can lead to addiction and other mental health problems for you down the road. And so you really want to just stop, pay attention. And so I want to encourage you today to use this episode for thinking time and reflection and journaling. And I want to give you some questions that you can journal about and really pay attention to the impact the business is having on your life. And the ultimate question is this business supporting my life? Or is this business taking my life away from me? And so it's my hope that by you answering these questions that I'm about to share with you, number one, you'll start to see if the business is not supporting your life. It'll create tremendous awareness around that, and it can be a wake-up call for you. And then I'm going to end with some positive questions to help you shift your perspective and to start to experience hope that things can be different for you and better. So the first question that I encourage you to reflect on and journal about is, what has suffered in your life because of your business? How have the people closest to you been impacted by the business? So your significant other, your children, your friends, your relatives. In the last year, what experiences have you missed out on or said no to because the business needed you? In what ways have you neglected your self-care? And finally, what dreams have you pushed away or let go of because of the business? So as you reflect on this, it's probably bringing lots of examples to mind for you of ways that the business has impacted your life negatively. And I want you to know that just because it's been this way to this point, it does not mean it has to stay this way. Day after day at Tap the Potential, we hear stories of business owners taking their lives back from their business in big ways and small ways. So big ways are taking 4-week vacations, having team members who can handle things in the business and make decisions, and the business owner doesn't have to be involved. That's really fun to hear those stories. We also hear the smaller successes, the initial signs of business owners taking their lives back. And, going home and being present with family and being able to engage in conversation with family members and checking in with family members and wanting to know about what's going on with them rather than just talking about the business. We hear about business owners taking time with spouses at the end of each day to reconnect and talk about things in life that have nothing to do with the business. Those are powerful changes. And so if you're in a place where you feel like, I cannot imagine having a better quality of life than what I've been dealing with and all the sacrifices I've been making, I want you to know there's hope. And so I want to invite you to do some dreaming, because when we dream and we get really excited about something that matters to us and we start to vision that, it pulls us in a direction that's much more positive, and we start to see opportunities to make those things come true. We start to see ways to make these things a reality. And so the danger, if we stop dreaming, if we become cynical and we just say, my life sucks, this is how it is, I got to hunker down and I got to work, I just got to deal with it, we are creating a future that's going to be very negative for ourselves and our businesses. It doesn't have to be that way. So use this as an opportunity to dream and to start creating in your mind a future that is better than the one you're currently experiencing. And then as you hold that vision in mind, you will start to see opportunities to bring it to reality. So the first question is, what would you do with an extra 10 hours freed up each week, right? Like, what would you do? Would you exercise? Would you cook healthy meals? Would you just maybe go home and hang out with your family? Or maybe you'd sit down and read a book. Maybe you go fishing. Who knows? Like, whatever it is, that if you just had an extra 10 hours, what would you be doing? What would you do if you ended work at 5 each day? What would your days be like if you were ending at 5 each day and you were confident you were going to leave the office and go home? If you had an extra week of vacation, where would you go? And what's possible for you if you're working a 25-hour work week instead of 50 or 60 or 70 hours? What's possible? What's possible in your family? And what hobbies or interests might you be picking up and exploring if you're working a 25-hour work week? And another powerful question is to just think about, how would your life be different if your business ran without you? These questions that I've given you, I really encourage you to take some thinking time, block some thinking time on your calendar, sit down somewhere for 30 minutes, half an hour, where you won't be disturbed, and let yourself write and let yourself explore these questions, because new insights, new awarenesses will come up. And especially if you've been in this place of just go, run around, do everything to make things happen, you really need that time to just stop and think and reflect. And I also want to invite you to make the 4-week vacation pledge, because when you make the 4-week vacation pledge, you have to start building up your muscle to take a 4-week vacation. And these small steps forward, these small boundaries that you start to put in place in your business. And I talked about those a lot in last week's episode 245. If you didn't listen, go back and listen to that episode. I talked about how when we put these small boundaries in place, leaving work at 5 o'clock, unplugging from our phones, putting our phones away in a drawer, and being fully present in the evenings, those are small ways of pulling back from our business and allowing ourselves to have more life. And so when you take the 4-week vacation pledge, you're saying, there's something really great that I want to create with this business. I want to create a business that can run without me. I want to create a sustainably profitable business that gives me a life. And it also means that you're going to be doing a lot of things along the way to taking that 4-week vacation that give you more life starting today. Right? So you don't have to wait to some grand point in the future where you're somehow magically going to take your life back from your business. It actually starts with the micro changes that you make starting today. And so when you make that 4-week vacation pledge, it gives you something big and bold to really go after. But really what you're saying is, I am no longer going to let this business take over my life. From this point forward, I am going to get control of the situation and be intentional to put those boundaries in place that allow me to have a life while the business grows. And I will tell you, when you make the 4-week vacation pledge, the business gets stronger because you've made the 4-week vacation pledge. And then when you share it with family members or team members, people around you get excited. People around you want to support you and make these things happen. So it creates tremendous momentum around you. So if you're in a place where you have steady sales going on in the business, you can definitely be able to take a 4-week vacation in 12 to 18 months. So take the 4-week vacation pledge. You can do that at tapthepotential.com/pledge. And when you take the 4-week vacation pledge, we provide you with a lot of resources to support you in being successful. You're going to get invited into our next Better Business, Better Life Jumpstart, where I walk you through the basics of the Tap the Potential solution so that you're actually taking action from day to day during that Jumpstart to help you take a 4-week vacation. So make the pledge. When you make the pledge, you'll get the invite to join our Jumpstart. Go to tapthepotential.com/pledge. I cannot wait to see your pledge coming through. Bye for now. Thank you for spending time with me today. Join me in our Tap the Potential Mighty Networks community at tapthepotential.com/group. Share your aha moments from today's episode, ask me questions, and join in on the fun with your fellow entrepreneurs on the journey to designing sustainably profitable businesses that give you more time for what matters most and more money in your bank account than ever. Isn't it time you take your life back? And finally, share today's episode with a friend if you know a friend who would enjoy it. This is real life business. Keep your chin up, keep moving forward. You got this.